In English, we use different tenses to talk about actions that happen at different times. Continuous tenses, also known as progressive tenses, are used to describe actions that happen over a period of time. We will be focusing on two specific continuous tenses: the present continuous and the past continuous. The present continuous tense is used to talk about actions that are happening right now at this very moment. Imagine you are looking around you. People are moving, talking, working, and living their lives. All of these actions are taking place as we speak. The present continuous tense helps us describe what is unfolding in real time, making our language more vivid and immediate. Whether you are watching someone cook dinner, listening to music, or even learning English at this very second, you are witnessing the present continuous in action. This tense is perfect for expressing what is going on around us, right now, in the present. To form the present continuous tense, we use the present tense of the verb to be, which can be am, is, or are, followed by the main verb with an ing ending. For example, I am, she is, or they are, plus the action word with ing added. This structure is simple but powerful, allowing us to describe ongoing actions with clarity. For instance, if you want to say that someone is running, you would say, he is running. If you are talking about yourself, you would say, I am running. And if you are talking about a group, you would say, they are running. Remember, the verb to be changes depending on the subject, but the main verb always ends in ing. This rule applies to all subjects, making it easy to use once you get the hang of it. Let's look at some examples to make this clearer. Imagine it's morning, and you are sitting at the kitchen table. You pick up your spoon and start eating your breakfast. In English, you would say, I am eating breakfast. This sentence tells us that the action, eating breakfast, is happening right now, as you speak. You are not talking about what you usually do in the mornings, or what you will do later, but what you are doing at this exact moment. The present continuous tense helps us focus on the action as it unfolds. When you say, I am eating breakfast, you are describing an action that is in progress. You are in the middle of eating, not finished yet, and not just about to start. This is the essence of the present continuous tense. It captures the ongoing nature of what you are doing. You can use this tense for any activity that is happening at the moment, whether it's eating, reading, writing, or even thinking. Here's another example. She is reading a book. This means that right now, at this very moment, she is in the process of reading. She might be sitting on the couch, completely absorbed in her novel, turning the pages as she goes. The present continuous tense lets us know that the action is happening as we speak. It's not something she does every day or something she plans to do later. It's happening now. The present continuous tense is also used to talk about what other people are doing at this moment. For example, they are playing football. This tells us that a group of people is currently involved in a game of football. Maybe they are running across the field, kicking the ball and shouting to each other. The action is happening right now, and the present continuous tense helps us describe it as it unfolds. You can use this tense to talk about any group activity that is taking place in the present. So, whenever you want to describe something that is happening right now, remember to use the present continuous tense. It's a great way to make your English sound more natural and lively. Whether you are talking about yourself, your friends, or people you see around you, this tense helps you capture the energy and immediacy of the present moment. Practice using it in your daily conversations, and soon you'll find it easy to talk about all the exciting things happening in your life right now. To help you visualize the present continuous tense, imagine these pictures. I am eating breakfast. She is reading a book. They are playing football. The past continuous tense is a very useful tense in English. We use it to describe actions that were happening or in progress at a particular moment in the past. This tense helps us paint a picture of what was going on at a specific time, rather than just stating that something happened. For example, if you want to talk about what you were doing at a certain hour yesterday, or what someone else was in the middle of doing when something else occurred, the past continuous tense is the perfect choice. It allows us to show that an action was ongoing, not yet finished, at that moment in the past. To form the past continuous tense, we use the past tense of the verb to be, which is was or were, depending on the subject, and then we add the ing form of the main verb. For example, I was reading, they were playing, or she was studying. Remember, was is used with singular subjects like I, he, she, or it, while were is used with plural subjects like we, you, or they. The main verb always takes the ing ending, which shows that the action was ongoing. This structure is simple, but it is important to use the correct form of to be and to remember the ing ending. The past continuous tense is often used together with the simple past tense. The past continuous describes the longer, ongoing action, while the simple past describes a shorter action that interrupts or happens during the ongoing action. This combination helps us show the relationship between two events in the past. For example, I was reading when the phone rang. Here, was reading is the ongoing action, and the phone rang is the action that interrupts it. Let's look at some examples to make this clearer. Imagine you are telling a story about your evening. You want to describe what you were doing at a specific time, or what was happening when something else occurred. The past continuous tense helps you do this in a natural and descriptive way. For example, I was watching television at 8 p.m. last night. This sentence tells us that at exactly 8 o'clock, you were in the middle of watching TV. The action had started before 8 and was still happening at that time. It gives us a snapshot of what was going on at that moment. This means that at 8 p.m. last night, I was in the process of watching television. The action was not finished. It was happening at that specific time. This is different from saying, I watched television last night, which only tells us that the action happened at some point, not that it was ongoing at a particular time. Notice how the past continuous tense helps us focus on the duration and the ongoing nature of the action. It is especially useful when we want to set the scene in a story or explain what was happening around a certain event. Another example is, he was cooking dinner when the phone rang. In this sentence, was cooking is the past continuous verb, and it shows that the action of cooking was already happening when the phone rang. The ringing of the phone is a shorter action that interrupts the longer action of cooking. This means that while he was in the process of preparing dinner, the phone suddenly rang. The past continuous tense helps us understand that the cooking was not finished. It was still happening when the phone call occurred. This is a common way to use the past continuous tense in English, especially when telling stories or describing events in detail. You can use the past continuous tense to describe any action that was happening over a period of time in the past, not just when it was interrupted. For example, she was studying all evening, or they were playing football in the park all afternoon. These sentences showed that the actions continued for some time in the past. Another example is, they were sleeping when the storm started. Here, were sleeping is the past continuous verb, and it tells us that the action of sleeping was already happening when the storm began. The storm is the event that interrupts the ongoing action. This means that when the storm began, they were in the middle of sleeping. The past continuous tense helps us understand that the sleeping was not finished. It was happening at the time the storm started. This is a great way to show what was going on in the background when something else happened. In summary, the past continuous tense is used to describe actions that were ongoing at a specific time in the past, or when another action occurred. It is formed with was or were plus the ing form of the verb. Use it to set the scene, describe background actions, or show that something was happening when something else interrupted it. Practicing this tense will help you tell more detailed and interesting stories in English and make your descriptions of past events much clearer and more vivid. Imagine these scenarios to better understand the past continuous tense. I was watching television at 8 p.m. last night. He was cooking dinner when the phone rang. They were sleeping when the storm started. Before we move forward, let's take a moment to quickly recap the essential difference between the present continuous and past continuous tenses. Understanding this distinction is crucial for using these tenses correctly in everyday conversation and writing. The key difference between the present continuous and past continuous tenses lies in the time frame each one refers to. The present continuous tense is used to describe actions that are happening right now, at this very moment. For example, you might say, I am watching this video, or she is typing on her laptop. These actions are ongoing and are taking place as we speak. This tense helps us talk about things that are in progress in the present, making our language more dynamic and immediate. On the other hand, the past continuous tense is used to describe actions that were happening at a particular moment in the past. For instance, you might say, "I was reading a book at 8 p.m. last night," or "They were having dinner when the phone rang." These actions were ongoing at a specific time before now, but they are no longer happening. The past continuous helps us paint a picture of what was occurring in the background during a past event. To make it even clearer, think of it this way. If you want to talk about what you are doing right now, at this exact moment, you use the present continuous. For example, "I am learning English." It's all about the present, what's happening as you listen to this. But if you want to talk about what you were doing at a specific time in the past, you use the past continuous. For example, "I was studying English yesterday at 7 p.m. This tense lets you describe actions that were ongoing in the past, often interrupted by another event or simply to set the scene. Remember, the present continuous is for actions happening now, while the past continuous is for actions that were happening at a certain time before now. Keeping this distinction in mind will help you use both tenses with confidence. To master these tenses, try making your own sentences using the present continuous and past continuous. Think about what you are doing right now and what you were doing at different times yesterday. For example, right now, I am writing this essay. Yesterday at lunchtime, I was eating a sandwich. Understanding and using continuous tenses correctly is essential for speaking and writing fluent English. By remembering the simple rules and visualizing the actions, you can confidently use the present continuous and past continuous tenses in your everyday conversations.